What's up, everybody? This is Ken, and today I'm just doing a tutorial on creating a basic web page in Photoshop. Something simple. I'm using Photoshop CC, of course, and what you see in front of you is the page we'll be working on. Now, I have a basic body shop website here. You know, it has the simple header, got your little image in the background, your headline, call to action, your services, and then another call to action in the footer. So like I said, very basic. Now, a heads up, this is my first video I'm recording as a tutorial, so just bear with me as I get through this. Anyways, let me go ahead and show you some of the behind the scenes stuff here. Now, to design this, I do use guides and columns of that nature, so I'm gonna cut them on to show you. As you can see right here, I use a 12 column grid, which you guys will get. I will actually have a zip file that will have all the images and things that I use for this project, by the way. That way you can follow along if you please to do so. Now, this, like I said, this is the grid that I use, mainly because I design mobile first, responsive sites. So this video actually is going to be multiple parts. I'm going to show you here in this one how to do it in Photoshop, and then in the videos to come, we'll show how I will code it out, to make an actual web page. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we got to do is open up a new document and actually have this grid here that you guys will get it included with your zip file. Just go ahead and open this up, and then I'll just unlock the grid. And I like to convert things to an artboard. You can keep it this way in design. I mean, it's perfectly fine. I'm just used to doing artboards, so I'm just convert it to an artboard here. And change the color. There we go. So as you saw from the original file, we have this big hero. I call it a hero shot. The first image you see when you load the page. So we have this big guy right here, behind it, all the words and the text. So I'm going to start with that. So first thing we got to do is grab a rectangle tool, which is down here on the left, or you can hit the letter U and do the exact same thing, and just draw a rectangle on the screen. And I'm changing the color to 90% gray. All right, and actually, there's two ways you can do it. You can stretch it out to the edge of the document, or what I tend to do is since this panel pops up automatically, I just like to add my own dimensions here. I would say 1930 width, and height I want to do. I'm gonna aim for 600. Make it a pretty big image. So just drag it to line it up. You can tell it's lined up by the purple lines on the edge of the document, and then we just move it up. There we go. Next thing we need to do is go ahead and grab our image to throw back there. So go into my Finder here, and we go back to the information here. So the image I had in the background was this car right here. All you gotta do is click it, drag it into the document, like so. And then once it's in there, just hit, I'll put this back up. Depending on what you're working on, you can hit Command T if you're on a Mac. I'm using a Mac here. Or you can hit, I believe it's Control T on Windows, and it'll give you the transform tool here. So all you want to do is size it up to basically make it cover the whole document. So you hold down the Shift key and you just size it up. Or you can hold down Alt with the Shift key and just size it all corners, which is what I tend to do. Alright, and then you just line it up here to basically where you feel comfortable with. Once you get it to where you want it, just hit enter to get out of the transform tool. And the next thing we want to do is actually clip this image into that rectangle we created earlier. To do so, you go to the right in your layers panel, right click on the image, and you just want to scroll till you see create clipping mask. And there we go. So the image is now in the background. Actually, it's contained inside the box. So next thing we got to do is now dim it a bit. So that way when we write the text, you'll be able to see the text on front or on top. So go here to the opacity, and we'll change it to 30%. I think we should be fine with 30%. That way you still see the image, but it's not too bright where it overpowers the text that we're about to put on front. Alright, so next thing we gotta do is start with the text. So you just grab a type tool, or you hit T with the letter T, and we'll just type here. The first headline would be World's Greatest Body Shop, and I'm just gonna do this in all caps. World's, oops, too small. Bring the font up a bit. Alright. World's Greatest Body Shop. Alright, something simple. So we'll go ahead and click out of the move tool to get out of that, and then just line it up. So you just want to move it till you see that pink line right there in the middle. That's how you know it's centered. So it's centered that way. And then we need to create the sub headliner, which is what you see here. Let me move this out the way so we can see the original document. So I have seriously, we mean it down here as like the sub headline. So the way I usually do it sometimes is actually I just copy the one I already have. I'll just hit on a Mac, I hit Command J to duplicate, or you hit Control J on Windows to do the exact same thing. Then I just bring it down a line. I will go into the properties panel here on the left, on the right, and change the color. So it was a blue color that we were using. Let me see if I can find that color real quick. And that color was 65C2FD. So we're just gonna copy that and come back here, and we're gonna change the color of this to that. Great. And the next step is to drop down the font. So we'll put it to about 30 points and drag it to the center. Wait, there you go. See the pink line? Alright. And then we change the text to seriously. We mean it. Might have to reline it again. There we go. So we got that. And I'm just gonna zoom in a bit. So your zoom tool is down here at the bottom, actually, on the left, or hit Z for zoom. Just so you know, I will be using a lot of shortcuts in this. There we go. And the next thing we need will be our call to action, the button here. So again, I will just copy the text, because inside of here you see I say request a quote. So I'll just Command J, bring it down just a bit. I'm gonna change the color back to white. And drop the font a little bit more to maybe like 18. That works. Then size it in the middle. And then change the text to request a quote. Didn't have to change it, right? Anyways, let's go ahead. Then, alright, so request a quote, and then we gotta draw the box that's on the outside to create the button. So again, we just grab a rectangle tool, or just hit the letter U, and just draw a box around the text. Alright, doesn't matter what size you get here, because you're gonna change that in the panel. So we get that here. Alright, first thing you wanna do is change the color of it. I want the button to be blue. So, I click on the this little button right here, this icon here, and then go to the color palette and paste that same code here. So now we have a blue button. And the height, I want this button to be, 40 pixels. So we'll do 40 pixels there. And then in the layers panel, we gotta drag it behind where it says request a quote. Alright. So we got that. Let me zoom in just a bit. And now we just gotta line up the button correctly. So what I'm doing is actually holding down Shift key and moving it up till it locks to a point. So it looks pretty good. So let me zoom right back out. So right now we have the hero shot and the headline and the call to action, the button here. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next step, which would be the nav bar. But before we do that, CC, I like to group everything in folders, which are going to be my components when I actually do design my code. So this right here, I will call this the hero section. So I go to the layers panel and I select from here, the last thing I did, up to this rectangle, and I hold shift when I click the rectangle, that selects them all for me. Then I come down here at the bottom and hit group and just name it hero. Easy enough. Alright, so the next thing we're gonna do is a nav. So the same process. Now the nav is gonna be transparent, as you can see here. You know, there's no background behind the nav bar, but I'm still gonna use a box to help me line up, or let me see how big I want the logo and the text to be. So we're gonna grab the shape tool again, the rectangle tool. So I hit U. We're just gonna draw another rectangle on the screen. All right, and we're gonna say 1930 width. Height, I want that to be, I think I had to 70 before, so we'll do 70. Yep, I think that was it. And I'm gonna zoom out so I can drag it over. Hide this out the way. Alright, so we're gonna line it up just like that. Hold shift and just drag up so it stays in place, and got it. So we have it put up there, right? So now that I have that, I'm gonna change the color of it, of that rectangle, to slightly darker color, just so I can see the logo, because the logo in my original file here is white and blue, so I want to be able to see it on the background when at least when I type it. Then I would just hide the whole rectangle or delete it, either way. So change the color on that, and then I'm gonna zoom back in like so, and then grab my type tool again, and we're just gonna type the actual text. So here, I put we the best, like DJ Khaled. So alright, we the best, and I will select the DA and change that to a blue color. So we'll just do that, and again paste the same blue color that we used before, and then we increase the size of the font. I want that to be 30. That might be too big, but we'll go with it. We'll go with it for now. Alright, so we got that there, and that's the logo. And the next thing we got to do is create the actual nav menu. So I'll just hit the tab tool again, click it on the screen, and we're gonna just have 3 links. So home, and I'm gonna do about 3 spaces, services, and contact. Alright, now of course I'm not gonna keep them that big. That's that's too big of a font here, for the nav bar at least. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop that from 30 to, let's see what 18 looks like. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So I'm gonna hold shift so I can drag it to the end and line it up that way. And great, so that would be good. And actually, I think the logo is just a little bit too big, so I'm gonna drop that down. Let's try that with 18, see what it looks like. Yeah, we'll go with smaller. We'll see. We'll do it smaller this time. Yeah. Alright. So now that I have my nav bar in place, I can now go ahead and hide the rectangle so we can see everything behind it. Okay? Alright, so the next thing we gotta do is actually group these elements into a folder as well. So click on rectangle here, then I'm gonna hold shift and click the last layer on the top, and go down here and click group. And I'm just gonna name that nav. Alright, so great, so we're basically halfway there. Alright, the next thing we gotta do is get these guys down here in the middle, the services. So as you can see, I have 3 images, and also with like a sub headline and some paragraph text here. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Now for this is where, again, I'll base everything off the guides here, the grid. So these images are about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 columns wide. All right, because as you can see, they all equals 12. So 4 times 3 is 12, of course. So let's go ahead and take that off. Go back to our document, and we just want to go ahead and grab the rectangle tool again, and just draw from here. Go over about 4 columns and just come down a bit. All right. Now my images, I actually have them width 300, height. I think it was 100. Nope, I had a height 150. There we go. And then see if I can drag that down a bit. Really doesn't matter as long as you give space between the main image at the top and then the actual section here. So I think that's good. Now this color, we can hardly see it, so I'm gonna darken it up again. Just do like a light gray. Doesn't matter what color it is actually, because we're gonna replace it with images. But I do it just so I can see where I'm setting everything at. So now we gotta make 2 more images. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit Command J to duplicate it. I'm gonna hold Shift and just drag to the right and line it up to the next 4. And then repeat the same thing. Line it on over, like so. And there, I got my 3 rectangles. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab my images to throw into them. So I'll go back to my Finder, and first image I want to use is this guy right here, Old Kia Optima. I'm just gonna drag that onto the document, like so. Hit enter real quick so I can lock it. Gotta zoom out just a tad bit. Alright, so I'm gonna hit Command T or Control T on the Windows. I'm gonna hold Shift and Alt so I can resize all edges versus just one corner. So Shift and Alt together does this for you. So I'm gonna shrink it down a bit, drag it on over so I get my positioning right. And it's gonna go like this. And then we can do like I did last time, which was the clipping mask, like we did for the top banner here. So just right click on the image, scroll down to clipping mask. Oops, and they clipped actually the wrong, excuse me, they clipped the wrong shape. So we just hit Command Z to undo that. Actually, I need to bring it down to this particular one, to the basic rectangle 4 here. And then I will go ahead and create the clipping mask by right clicking. There we go. And I was inside our rectangle. And I'm just gonna move it up just a bit to kind of give it a little centering. Alright. And then we just, copy, rinse and repeat. So let's see. Next image will be this guy here, the Subaru. So again, we just drag it onto documents. Hit enter real quick. Sorry, Command T, bring it back. Zoom it down to this. And same thing, I'm gonna drag this down onto the next one above it, the rectangle copy, because we're gonna put it in this rectangle, which is the center. So right click, create clipping mask. There we have it. And I'm just gonna move it over just a bit. So I can put it in. There we go. Got the whole car in the image. And then the last one we gotta do is the good old Camaro. Let's bring him on out. And then we do the same thing with that one. Hold down Shift and Alt. And I'm just gonna shrink it. Like so. Move it on over. And then just gonna bring him down just a bit more. Yeah, I think that's good. Hit enter. And then just hit create clipping mask. Don't need to drag this anywhere because the box that corresponds with this is already there at the top. So create clipping mask. And let me see if I can move it just a little bit more inside. There we go. Great, so now we got the images done. And alright, so next thing we gotta do is the subline text here. Subheadline, excuse me. So we gotta do that part there with the blue. So hit your type tool. Well, first, before you do that, we're going to change the color. So you hit the type tool, get the color here, and we're going to change it to this blue. So I still actually have a copy in my palette, so I just click Command V to paste it there. And then what did I say? Super fast serviced. Let's see. Fast service. I'm probably gonna make it a little bit larger. Let's see. We're gonna bring out the characters panel and just bump it up just a bit. Yeah, let's do 24. That's fine. And then we're just gonna line it to the edge until we see a purple line, purple vertical line. There you go. Alright, so super fast service, and I'm just gonna copy and paste it across. Alright, so Command J, hold Shift, and just drag it over till it lines up over here. And then same thing again. Alright, and then that's it for that. And the next part for this section will be doing the text that goes below this, like the information. Now this is one of my favorite tools I like to use when it comes to doing website mockups, because back in the day you actually have to, create a text box and then have some like lorem ipsum is what we call it, like just filler text to put into it. So you have to copy, you have to go to the website, copy the text, throw it in there, or the text on the client, depending on, you can throw it in there just to basically get your measurements right. Well, with Photoshop CC, they actually included that lorem ipsum inside, so I'm going to show you that right now. So I'm going to just take my type tool again, and I'm just click and drag, and I'm going to create a box that's about 4 columns wide, like that. And then make sure this is there we go. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go up here to type in the menu bar and come down to where it says paste lorem ipsum. Once you do that, it pastes everything inside. I didn't have to go anywhere to grab that. So that's my favorite tool, one of my favorite tools here. So Control All, and then we're going to shrink the text. Let's say 18. Is that? Yeah, 18 be fine. And then I'm just going to shrink the box to about 3 lines. They want like 3 lines long. So that's good for me. Oh, and change the color to, change it to like a dark gray, I will say. So we're going to do actually 2D, 2D, 2D. And actually change the font too. I don't think I wanted that way. I don't think I wanted that bold. So let's do regular. There we go. Ta-da. All right. And then again, like I did the subhead lines, I'm just gonna go ahead and copy and paste it over. So Command J, Shift and drag, line it up. Command J, Shift and drag, line it up. All right. So we're done with that section. We'll go ahead and come to our layers panel and make another folder that will have all the files here. So we're gonna find where it started at. Started right here. So hold Shift, click, and group. We'll call this features. Now features are done. So the next step we gotta do is our second call to action, which is this section right here. All right. So we'll go zoom out so you can see more. And it looks like I'm starting to run out of space. So now this is the reason why I like using artboards. If you didn't create an artboard, you just use the standard folder that was there in the beginning. You actually have to go into images, canvas size, and then increase it, the height. Change this box here, change the pixels, and say how high you want it to go. Which you can do it that way. I mean, if you don't mind doing it that way, that's perfectly fine. I like artboards because I can do it on the fly, like this. I just select the artboard, grab my hit V to grab my move tool, and I can just drag it down. It gives me more space there. Or I can come here on the right side and hit the properties panel and just type in how high I want it to go as well. So I'm gonna say 1600. I'm gonna go to 1600 height. So that's why I like artboards. Just a little bit more. It speeds up my process at least. All right. So now that we have that going, I'm going to need to extend the grid just a little bit more. So I'm just gonna go here and actually hit Command T and just drag it down a bit. Give me a little bit more space to work with. Hit the zoom tool, come just a little bit more. Actually, no, come out because I got to do the call to action. So hit the U to grab the rectangle tool, drag out, and just create the width again, 1930, and the height is going to be about 200. All right, and we're just going to drag it on over to the edge so it locks in, and bring it up just a little bit. I think right here will be good. And of course, we're going to change the background here to the 90% like dark gray. There we go. Now, the next thing we got to do, if you guessed it, is drag the image to go here. So the image we use with the same one we used at the top, keeping everything simple. So we'll go ahead and grab this car, drag it onto a document, and this one's a little bit smaller than the document, so just hold down Shift and Alt and just drag until it covers most of the document, like so. Hit enter. Oops, it moves my guys for some reason. Let's try it again. There we go. Command T. Hold down Shift and Alt and then bring it up. We should be good to go this time. There we go. And then right click and just do, oops, and make sure it's right. Well, bring it down first. It'd be next to the rectangle. I'm not sure why I jumped down that far. Let me see if I can move all this up. All right, so right click, scroll down to create clipping mask, and it puts it right here in this little section. And I'm gonna just hit the move tool and just move it up a bit because I want the wheels to show. I don't know why, I just do. Let's do it like right, yeah, like right there. Get the front of the car inside too. And then just change the color, the opacity. Bring it down, that down to 30%. And now we can go ahead and zoom in. And the text I had here was, ask us about our specials, and then request a quote. So this is what I'm going to do here. Take the type tool, change the color back to white, and change this back to bold oblique, and just type, ask us about our specials. Great. And the font, I'm going to bring the font back up to like 48. Oh, actually no, that's too big. Let's do 30. Yeah, that's about fine. All right, so we do 30 and line it up to center. So that's it right there. And then what I also need is this button here, create another one. Now I could create another one from scratch, but that's what I did the first time. But I'm just gonna see if I can just copy and paste this one here. So what I'm gonna do is actually just go into the panel that the button's located in, which is the hero. And it's these two files right here. So I'll show you. If I turn it, click that, you see the text goes away. So that's that layer there, and this is the layer behind it. So I'm gonna highlight these two. So hold Shift and get those two, and I'm just gonna hit Command J to copy and paste them. All right, so you see they went to the top of my layers panel, so I can close the hero section. Don't need that anymore. And then I come here and just grab these guys and bring them down to where I'm working at. I think I'm working right here. And then the last thing I do is drag it down. So hold Shift, just drag it on the page. Actually, let's zoom out and do that. So I'm gonna zoom out. Then I'm gonna hit the V key to move it, and hold Shift and drag it down till we get to where we need to be. There we go. Make it simple. So we gotta do it again. All right. So that's the call to action section. That's done. So now we're just going to make another group. So I'm just going to see. Request a quote is the top of this layer, in this layer section I'm working on, down to this rectangle. So just hold Shift and click all that and group it. We're going to call it CTA, which is short for call to action. And then the last thing we got to do is the footer. In the footer, I just did something basic. If I do future tutorials, when I have time, I'll do more elaborate ones, you know, where you have like a footer with social icons. Maybe I call it like like a folder, like a contact us form, things of that nature, I will do that later on. Here I just want to kind of throw something here quickly together so I can show you how to do it in Photoshop and then take it from here to actually writing the code. So basic footer, we just have a gray bar and 2016 copyright and name of the shop. So let me zoom back out here. And if you guessed it already, we're gonna grab the rectangle tool again. So hit U, draw it out. And we're just gonna type in the dimensions I want to use, 1930 by 100. And then change the color to that 90% gray. All right, so we're just gonna drag it out, line it up to the document, then come up just a bit so we can connect to the call to action. Yeah, go up a little bit more. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna zoom back in. And then here, just type just as normal. So I'm just gonna do, click new layer first, so we get the type tool. Just show you what I did just now. Let me delete this layer. All right, so yeah, delete it. So what happened was when I click the type tool, it shows you this cursor with the circle around it, showing that you want to type inside the rectangle. You can do it that way, but I like to have more freedom with my text. Because here when you click on it, you got to type inside the rectangle, and then you got to move it around, hit spaces, and to me it's a little bit more work that I want to do. So I'll just create a new layer and just type on top of that layer. Easy enough for me. Some of you probably be used to the other way, which is fine, but I prefer this way. All right, so copyright. Then I'm just hit tab and just gonna do the best. Then body shop. That's it, and then just line it up. So hold shift and at first we gotta line it vertically. There we go. Well, we gotta line it. Yep, got it, and then bring it over just a bit. All right, so we have it centered, and that is it for the basic web page. Then what I gotta do now is just shrink all this extra space we have. So I'm gonna click on the grid, hit Command T, and I'm just gonna bring that down just a bit. Hold on, I'm not sure why it looks like that. 1 second. There we go. Just bring it down just a bit. All right, and then click on the artboard itself. Well, first gotta hit enter to lock that in. Then click on the artboard itself and then move that up. Like so. And there you have it. As you can see, we got the full web page here. Let me go ahead and hide the guides. By the way, to toggle your guides on and off on a Mac, you just hold down your Command key and hit the colon key, and that toggles them on and off. On a Windows, it's actually Control and the colon key, and that toggle them off on and off for you there. So there, as you can see, we have a basic web page here, and we're good to go. So the next video you see will be me basically dissecting this down to how we're gonna write it in code, like it's in blocks, because it's easier to understand it that way when you break it down into blocks. Like when I say blocks, I mean like navigation bar, the hero image, feature section, CTA. Basically, that's why. So now you see why I coded them out this way. Oops. Speaking of the layers panel, let me group the footer information. Call that footer. And then usually at the end, I kind of like organize these folders. So now it should be at the top, followed by hero. Then on the hero will be features. The call to action, and then the footer. So that's how I usually organize them there. And then when I go to code it, that's exactly how to code them out. I'll do the nav bar, the hero, features, and so on. All right, so there you have it. And just stay tuned for the next video where we go over the next steps, which is to actually change this to code. I will be using Twitter Bootstrap as a framework for mobile design, so it'll be interesting. So see you guys later.